This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh holds bilateral talks with his Iranian counterpart Brigadier General Amir Hatami in Tehran. Health Ministry reviews containment and management of COVID-19 in 35 districts of 5 states and 1 union territory. COVID recovery rate improves to 77.32%. Number of recovered patients overtakes active cases by nearly 3.7 times. Preparations are in full swing to restart metro trains in graded manner from tomorrow in Delhi, Bengaluru, Chennai, Ahmedabad and Hyderabad. And the Indo-Canadian pair of Rohan Bopanna and Denis Shapovalov advanced to men's doubles quarterfinals in US Open. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held a bilateral meeting with his Iranian counterpart, Brigadier General Amir Hatami, last evening. Mr. Singh was on a transit halt in Tehran en route from Moscow to New Delhi. The meeting between the two ministers took place in a cordial and warm atmosphere. Both the leaders emphasized upon the age-old cultural, linguistic and civilizational ties between India and Iran. They discussed ways to take forward bilateral cooperation and exchanged views on regional security issues, including peace and stability in Afghanistan. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan today held a review meeting with the health secretaries of 5 states and 1 union territory through video conference on the containment and management of COVID in 35 districts. These 35 districts comprise Kolkata, Howrah, North 24 Parganas and 24 South Parganas in West Bengal, Pune, Nagpur, Thane, Mumbai Suburban, Kolhapur, Sangli, Nashik, Ahmednagar, Raigad, Jalgaon, Solapur, Satara, Palghar, Aurangabad, Dhule and Nanded in Maharashtra, Surat in Gujarat, Puducherry, East Singhbhum in Jharkhand and all 11 districts in Delhi. Addressing the participants, Mr. Bhushan underscored the need to suppress, curb and eventually break the chain of transmission of the infectious disease by strengthening the active case search, focusing on the comorbids and elderly population. He advised them to strengthen containment measures in the affected areas and scale up testing to decrease the positivity rate below 5%. Mr. Bhushan and State Health Secretaries also discussed the detailed roadmaps and action plans for the next 1 month. The states and the UT were advised to take steps on limiting the spread of the infection by implementing stringent containment measures and following social distancing measures. They have been also advised for effective monitoring of home isolation cases and early hospitalization in case of disease progression.
The highest ever single-day COVID recoveries of 70,072 were recorded yesterday. Currently, the recovery rate is 77.23%. Health Ministry said this has also led to the declining case fatality rate, which stands at a new low of 1.73%. Meanwhile, India's COVID-19 tally crossed 41 lakh mark with a single-day spike of 90,633 new cases. A total of 1,065 deaths were also reported in the last 24 hours. The total case tally stands at 41,13,812, including 8,62,320 active cases. Indian Council of Medical Research said a total of 4,88,31,145 samples have been tested so far in the country. Of these, 10,92,654 samples were tested yesterday. The country registered maximum number of recoveries of nearly 73,640 COVID patients in the last 24 hours. So far, around 32 lakh people in the country have recovered from the viral pandemic. The overall recovery rate has also maintained its upward trend and has now reached 77.32%. Health Ministry has said the constant increase in recoveries have ensured that the actual caseload of the country has reduced and currently comprises only 20.96% of the total positive cases. The number of recovered patients has overtaken the active cases by nearly 3.7 times. The ministry said the number of recovered patients in the country has grown over 4 times in a span of 2 months. Effective implementation of test, track and treat approach has led to higher recoveries and lower fatality. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.72%. In the last 24 hours, 90,633 new cases have been reported, taking the total number of positive cases to 41,13,812. Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh together account for over 50% of the confirmed cases added in the last 24 hours in the country. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 8,62,320. In the last 24 hours, 1,065 deaths have also been reported, taking the toll to 70,626.
The Health Ministry has decided to deploy central teams to Punjab and Chandigarh to assist in strengthening public health measures for containment, surveillance, testing and efficient clinical management of COVID patients. The teams shall also guide in effectively addressing the challenges related to timely diagnosis and follow-up. The two-member teams will comprise of a community medicine expert from PGI MER Chandigarh and an epidemiologist from National Centre for Disease Control. These teams shall be stationed for 10 days to provide extended guidance in managing COVID. Punjab has reported a total of 60,013 cases, whereas it has 15,731 active cases on date. It has registered 1,739 deaths. The testing per million figure for the state is 37,546. Chandigarh has reported 2,095 active cases, whereas its cumulative cases stand at 5,268. Testing per million stands at 38,054. The centre is actively supporting the states and UTs that are seeing a sudden surge in the number of COVID cases and those that are reporting high mortality by deputing multi-sectoral central teams. India achieved a record of conducting over 10 lakh COVID tests for 4 days in a row, surpassing the initial target of conducting over 10 lakh tests. Nearly 1,652 labs in the country conducted close to 11 lakh tests in the last 24 hours. The country has witnessed significant stepping up in its COVID testing capacity in the last 5 months. From just 160 labs testing COVID samples on 23rd of March this year, the country today has 1,027 government labs and 625 private labs. So far, with an overall testing figure of 4,88,31,145, the nation has also been able to maintain a remarkably low positivity rate below 8.5%. Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and Madhya Pradesh have recorded a positivity rate even lower than 5%. The Health Ministry said that higher levels of testing sustained over a period of time in widespread areas has enabled early diagnosis of cases and facilitated seamless isolation and hospitalization. It said this has also led to low mortality rate.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has said that the recent surge in COVID-19 cases in the national capital is attributable to doubling of testing. He, however, asserted that the situation in the city is completely under control and there is no need to panic. Addressing a virtual media briefing, Mr. Kejriwal said he is not worried about the data but concerned about keeping people healthy. Delhi recorded over 2,900 fresh COVID-19 cases yesterday, the highest single-day spike in 69 days. Maharashtra has reported its highest single-day spike of 20,801 coronavirus cases, taking the infection count to 8,83,862. The State Health Department has said that with 312 fatalities, the COVID-19 death toll went up to 26,276 in the state. Maharashtra reported a record number of cases on the fourth consecutive day yesterday. 10,801 people were discharged yesterday, taking the recoveries to 6,36,574. The state currently has 2,20,661 active cases. Mumbai city reported 1,737 new cases and 33 deaths, taking its tally to 1,53,712 and death toll to 7,832. The number of active cases in Mumbai stands at 22,978. Pune city reported 2,366 cases along with 32 deaths, taking its infection count to 1,10,565 and the death toll to 2,724.
In Rajasthan, with 726 new cases of COVID-19 reported today, total number of positive cases has reached 90,089. 133 cases have been reported in Jaipur, while 111 persons were found positive in Kota. COVID cases have been reported in large numbers this morning from Ajmer, Alwar, Bikaner, Jhalawar and Rajsamand. The death toll rose to 1,130 with 8 deaths reported this morning. In Himachal Pradesh, 4 more patients succumbed to COVID-19 yesterday, taking the death toll to 52, while 188 fresh cases pushed the state's infection tally to 7,018. The number of active cases in the state stands at 1,978. Meanwhile, 21 patients have recovered, and with this, the total number of recoveries in the state has risen to 4,941.
The total number of corona infected in the state in Madhya Pradesh has exceeded about 72,000, while 54,649 patients have recovered. Meanwhile, preparations are being made to celebrate Durga Utsav with necessary precautionary measures in the state.
Chief Minister Singh said in a Corona review meeting held in Bhopal yesterday that Durga Utsav will be organized in the state as per the provisions of Lakh 4. A maximum of 100 people will be able to attend the pandals during the Durga festival. Also, all precautions to avoid Corona such as social distancing, use of mask and sanitizer will be mandatory. The Chief Minister said that a guideline will be released later regarding immersion of Durga idols. Meanwhile, Sunday's lockdown and night curfew have also been abolished in the state. Paritosh Dikshit, All India Radio, Bhopal.
Telangana today reported 2,574 fresh COVID-19 cases during the past 24 hours, taking the number of cases reported so far in the state to 1,40,969. The state also increased its daily COVID tests to about 63,000 yesterday. Meanwhile, the recovery rate also slightly improved to 76.2%, with 2,927 more persons recovering during the last 24 hours. This took the number of recovered people to 1,07,530.
More than 2.67 crore people around the world have been infected with the coronavirus. According to America's Johns Hopkins University, globally 8,76,400 people have lost their lives due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The US continues to lead the count with 62,32,889 cases and 1,88,252 deaths, followed by Brazil with more than 40 lakh cases and over 1,25,000 deaths. In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Director at AIIMS in Delhi, Dr. Randeep Guleria advised people to aggressively follow social distancing and hand hygiene norms to check the spread of COVID-19 infection.
Regular hand washing should be done. You should avoid going to crowded places because if someone in the crowd is coughing and has the infection, he can spread to others. Then if any member in your family has fever, cough, cold, he should stay at home and avoid going out so that he doesn't spread the infection to other people in the community.
Metro services will resume from tomorrow in a graded manner in Delhi, Chennai, Bengaluru, Ahmedabad and Hyderabad. Passengers will have to follow preventive measures against COVID-19 by maintaining social distancing and wearing face masks. In the first stage, Delhi Metro services will operate in 2 shifts from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Normal operations will start from the 12th of this month. Metro stations and entry-exit gates in containment zones will be closed. Only asymptomatic persons will be allowed to travel after thermal screening at the entry into the stations. Sanitizers will be made available at entry points of stations for use by passengers. In Tamil Nadu, the State Express Transport Corporation and the Chennai Metro Rail Limited are resuming operations tomorrow. Meanwhile, the active COVID-19 caseload in the state remains at 51,600. The total caseload has increased to 4,57,000 with 5,870 people testing positive yesterday. The total recoveries have also gone up to 3,98,000. More from our correspondent.
Tamil Nadu is one of the states that witnesses the highest interstate migration, and Chennai sees the maximum floating population. After about 170 days, the inter-district travel by public transport is being rolled out from tomorrow, thanks to the Unlock 4. The State Express Transport Corporation officials say they are well prepared to ply 400 non-AC luxury buses, initially linking all major cities with most parts of the state. The seat occupancy will be restricted to 60% of the total seats. streets. Similarly, the Chennai Metro Rail Limited has also made the stations and the train rakes ready for resuming service from 7 a.m. tomorrow. The services in all existing routes in the city will be run till 8 p.m. every day. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh holds bilateral talks with his Iranian counterpart, Brigadier General Amir Hatami in Tehran. Health Ministry reviews containment and management of COVID-19 in 35 districts of 5 states and 1 union territory. COVID recovery rate improves to 77.32%. Number of recovered patients overtakes active cases by nearly 3.7 times. Preparations in full swing to restart metro trains in graded manner from tomorrow in Delhi, Bengaluru, Chennai, Ahmedabad and Hyderabad. And Indo-Canadian pair of Rohan Bopanna and Denis Shapovalov advanced to men's doubles quarterfinals in US Open. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. The Namma Metro services in Bengaluru will resume operations from tomorrow at reduced operational hours. The Purple Line will resume tomorrow and the Green Line on September 9th. The services will operate between 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. until September the 11th and 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. thereafter. Trains will operate at intervals of 5 minutes during the peak hours and 10 minutes during non-peak hours. The Bengaluru Metro Rail Corporation has released the standard operating procedure to be followed by commuters to prevent spread of the pandemic. More from our correspondent.
When the metro service opens tomorrow in Bengaluru, precautions will be taken on social distancing and sanitation. Only passengers wearing masks with smart card will be allowed to avail the service. The recharge of the card will be online or through digital mode. Passengers have to keep their cards at 3 centimeters distance from the card reader. Only 400 passengers per train will be allowed and the train will not stop at crowded stations. Passengers who have temperature above 37 degrees Celsius and symptoms like cough, sneezing, or breathlessness will not be allowed to enter the station. Right now, no stations are declared as part of containment zones. The authorities, however, have decided to close the entry and exit points of a station if they come under containment zones. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Gujarat, the COVID-19 tally in Ahmedabad district rose to 32,351 with addition of 167 new cases. With the discharge of 78 patients, the total number of recoveries has reached up to 26,771 in the district. AIR correspondent reports that out of 167 new cases, 151 cases were reported from Ahmedabad city. With the death of 2 patients, the death toll of Ahmedabad district went up to 1,747. Meanwhile, as a part of Unlock 4, Ahmedabad Metro will resume its partial services from tomorrow. More from our correspondent.
Metro authorities have undertaken the sanitization work ahead of resumption of its operation. Workers carried out the sanitization work at the stations and also inside the train coaches. According to the Gujarat Metro Rail Corporation, it will launch restricted services on the first 2 days to examine the COVID-related precautionary measures are in place. One train will operate at 11 a.m. and the second will run at 4:25 p.m. between Apparel Park and Vastralgam on 7th and 8th September. Initial services will run with only 10% capacity. Passengers found without mask will be penalized. The passenger contact area in the train will be sanitized after every trip. Markings have been made inside the train and on the platforms to ensure the social distancing norms are followed. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
In Telangana, Hyderabad Metro Rail Limited will be resuming its operations from tomorrow. The metro rail services will be resumed in phased manner. CMD of Hyderabad Metro, NVS Reddy, informed that the services will commence first on the corridor number 1, Miapur to LB Nagar. The operations on the corridors number 2 and 3 will resume later. Initially, the operating hours will be limited and for every 5 minutes, a train will be operated.
80 new special passenger trains will be operational from 12th September. The Indian Railways has informed that passengers can start making reservation in the new trains from 10th September. These trains will be in addition to the already operational 230 trains across the country. Railway Board Chairman Vinod Kumar Yadav said that the railway is keeping a close watch over the demand and waiting lists in various areas of the country. He said more trains will be made operational in due course of time if needed. Mr. Yadav also informed that more trains will be run upon receiving special requests for exams and other purposes from state governments. The Southern Railway has announced that a set of special superfast express trains will be operated between Trichy and Howrah thrice a week from September 15th, 2020. In the return direction, the first service will be operated on September 17th. Reservations for the service will begin on September 10th. Earlier, a set of daily services from Egmore to Madurai, Tuticorin and Karaikudi had also been announced. All these services will be fully reserved. Passengers have to report for the journey 90 minutes before the departure time for thermal screening. The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program today will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19. Dr. Rajinder K. Dhamija, neurologist, Lady Hardinge Medical College, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. The program will be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the government announced the third phase of ambitious Back to Village B2V program from October 2nd to 12th this year. The announcement was made by Principal Secretary, Power Development and Information Departments Rohit Kansal, who is also a government spokesperson, at a press conference in Srinagar yesterday. Terming the first two phases of Back to Village as huge success, Mr. Kansal said it is a unique program which received tremendous respect from the people when 4,000 gazetted officers from J&K administration visited each and every panchayat of Jammu and Kashmir. In Jammu and Kashmir, the yatra to Holy Cave Shrine of Mata Vaishno Devi is proceeding smoothly and picking up pace with each passing day. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that keeping this in view, the quota of pilgrims from outside the Union Territory has been enhanced to 500 pilgrims per day, out of a ceiling of 2,000 yatris daily. CEO of Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board, Ramesh Kumar, has said that bookings by the devotees for Shraddha Suman Vishesh Puja has also commenced through online mode, and the accommodations have also been thrown open for pilgrims following all prescribed SOPs. Pertinently, for the ease and comfort of the yatris, all other supplementary facilities like battery-operated vehicles, passenger ropeway and helicopter services are also operating smoothly by strictly following social distancing norms and other precautionary measures. Besides, free langar at Tarakot Marg and Prasad Kendra at Sanji Chhat have also been operationalized for the facility of pilgrims.
The Virudhunagar district of Tamil Nadu, which houses a large number of small and medium enterprises, especially in the firecrackers and allied sectors, has been selected by the central government as the state's first fully digital economy district. All industrial units and commercial establishments in the district are at present implementing various forms of cashless transactions. These include widespread use of ATM debit cards, increased usage of internet banking, and widespread use of QR codes. The All India Radio has undertaken a countrywide Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat campaign, which highlights the age-old tradition of our country, unity in diversity, and certainly the unparalleled cultural harmony of our diversified communities and people. Under Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat campaign, a cultural exchange is arranged to bolster mutual friendship, peace and harmony among the people of different states to build a new India. Under the campaign, people from paired states happily shared their experiences. A report from Mizoram.
Under the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat campaign, Mizoram is paired with Bihar. Mizoram is a hilly state with serene landscape and endowed with rich natural, cultural and human resources. Some people from Mizoram who have visited Bihar still remember their good stay in Bihar. Dr. Nunpari Sailo, who did her postgraduate from Patna Medical College, said the capital city of Patna is pretty safe. Dr. Sailo said that she did not face any problem with language and culture of the people.
When I had stayed in Patna in Bihar for 3 years during 2013 to 16, doing my post-graduation in Patna Medical College. When I stayed there for a while, I realized the city was pretty safe. That is obviously just like in any other parts of the country. The people were, yes, they were friendly. I really didn't face discrimination at my workplace. Actually, I'm quite adaptable anywhere I go. As such, I didn't face much problems adjusting to the place and its culture when I went to Patna, Bihar.
Some Mizo people found Bihar is famous for the festival Holi and Chhath. Also, the UNESCO heritage site at Bodh Gaya and Madhubani paintings are pointers to the rich heritage of Bihar. Irene, AIR News, Aizawl.
In our series on Atmonibra Bharat today, we bring you the story of women from a far-flung district in Arunachal Pradesh who are making masks in view of the COVID pandemic. There is an urgent demand for masks in Arunachal Pradesh. Under the aegis of the Nightingale Self-Help Groups Federation, which was initiated and trained by the North-East Region Community Resource Management Project, women in Changlang have started making masks. The Nightingale Federation has 10 SGHs under it, and all the members had been trained under the many programs of the Narkor MP, working through the Bordumasa Mahila Mandal. The masks made by the women are clean, hygienic and sanitized. The women are working round the clock to fulfill the demands as well as train others. In the US Open tennis, the Indo-Canadian pair of Rohan Bopanna and Denis Shapovalov beat the German pair of Kevin Kravitz and Andreas Mies to reach men's doubles quarterfinals in New York. Bopanna is the lone surviving Indian in the tournament after the exits of Sumit Nagal and Divij Sharan. In women's singles, Serena Williams made a comeback from a slow start to beat Sloane Stevens 2-6, 6-2, 6-2 in the third round. She will face number 15 Maria Sakkari of Greece in the fourth round. Now let's take a look at today's weather update. The national capital, Delhi, is likely to witness a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was recorded at 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 34 degrees. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was recorded at 26 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Srinagar, the temperature will hover between 17 and 27 degrees Celsius. The city is likely to have partly cloudy skies. Ladakh will also have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover around 14 and 26 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the minimum temperature was 14 degrees and the maximum will be around 28 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Muzaffarabad is likely to have a clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected to be around 29 degrees. In Dehradun, the minimum temperature was 23 degrees Celsius and the maximum could be around 31 degrees. The city may witness thunderstorm with rain. Chandigarh may witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature will hover between 25 and 33 degrees. Guwahati may experience a generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was recorded at 25 degrees Celsius, while the maximum could be around 35 degrees. Kolkata may have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was 28 degrees with the maximum is expected to be 35 degrees. The temperature in Ahmedabad is expected to be between 26 and 34 degrees Celsius. The city will have partly cloudy sky.
The Sports Ministry has extended the contract of 9 foreign coaches and support personnel, including High Performance Director of Athletics, with an eye on the 2024 Olympics, Commonwealth Games and Asian Games 2022. In July this year, the ministry had decided to draw up extended contracts for foreign and Indian coaches in sync with the Olympic cycle.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh holds bilateral talks with his Iranian counterpart Brigadier General Amir Hatami in Tehran. Health Ministry reviews containment and management of COVID-19 in 35 districts of 5 states and 1 union territory. COVID recovery rate improves to 77.32%. Number of recovered patients overtakes active cases by nearly 33.7 times. Preparations are in full swing to restart metro trains in graded manner from tomorrow in Delhi, Bengaluru, Chennai, Ahmedabad and Hyderabad. And the Indo-Canadian pair of Rohan Bopanna and Denis Shapovalov advanced to men's doubles quarterfinals in the US Open. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the midday news.